Ames Public Library, 12 to try. Ames Library employees seated at a table with books.
Hello, I'm Anessa, and I work as a librarian here at the Ames Public Library.
I'm Seth, also a librarian here in Ames.
We're here to give you some recommendations for our third annual 12 to Try challenge. For the month of June, the challenge is to read a retelling of a myth, fairy tale, or other classic work. Stay tuned for our suggestions, or come to the library and check out our display promoting the challenge.
You mind if I share mine first here, Anessa?
Go for it, Seth.
All right, look.
Anessa just told you what the challenge was. It was read a retelling of a myth or legend or folktale. I've largely ignored the assignment. I'd like to apologize to my coworkers, to you, Anessa, to the people of Ames. But yeah, I'll try to make a case here for my transgressions. Sometimes a new writer or translator picks up old myths and makes what feels like a retelling, even though he's just kind of telling the story over again instead of kind of, remaking the stories themselves. And I think that is what British actor and author Stephen Fry has done with the Greek myths here. He's the one who's telling these stories over again. And he's added some interesting things. So he's added a lot. It's been since, fifth grade, I think, since I read all the Greek myths. He's added some pleasant asides. The author puts in some nods to modern life and modern readers. And while my fifth grade textbook had lots of blood in it, I don't remember quite as many other bodily fluids being splashed all over the place. So yeah, how do you get people being born out of other people's foreheads and out of clamshells in the ocean, and that's bodily fluids? But what he's taken out is probably more important. Gone is all that moralizing that I had to deal with in fifth grade. No, of course, Pandora's box. That is not the story of, women are just too curious for their own good, right?
I've often noticed that problem, yes.
Yes. No, this is the story of Zeus being a vengeful jerk. If you also haven't read the Greek myths since fifth grade, pick up Mythos today. We just got this fancy new illustrated edition. It's here at the library now. You can come grab it.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I actually did read the assignment. And I have Phoenix and Ashes, which is a retelling of Cinderella by Mercedes Lackey. The kicker is that this particular Cinderella retelling is set in England during World War I. The prince character is the son and heir of the local manor and is also an airman on leave from the army due to a nasty case of PTSD. Oh, and it isn't just the fairy godmother who has magic. Cinderella and the prince have magic of their own, and so does the evil stepmother. This is part of Lackey's ongoing Elemental Masters series. It's full of magic and adventure, but also historical detail. Lackey carefully fits this hidden fantasy world into the real history of 20th century England. It's sort of like a delightfully entertaining cross between Downton Abbey and Harry Potter, with a heroine who definitely keeps the hero on his toes. It's a fascinating spin on a very old story, and Cinderella and her prince rebel not just against an abusive family, but also against a society and social mores that are also already strained to the breaking point by the Great War. If you like it, you're in luck because there are 17 additional books in the series and more on the way. This is Phoenix and Ashes by Mercedes Lackey. So what's your next one?
My next one is another opportunity for me to let everyone down. It's called Princess Cora and the Crocodile. It's not quite a retelling of any specific fairy tale. I guess there's a couple that are mashed up in here, but really it's a brand new fairy tale, I think, created by author and librarian Laura Amy Schlitz with pictures by Brian Floca. By the way, she won the Newbery and he won the Caldecott. So they get together, they're going to write a good book, right? It's mostly the story of Princess Cora, and it starts with her parents who are worried. because they know that the world is a really crappy place. The world is big and scary. They want Princess Cora to be prepared, and so they decide that she should probably be taking lessons all day. And when she's not taking lessons, she should be taking baths or exercising or something like that. The princess just wants a friend. She wants a dog. So she writes a letter to her fairy godmother. She asks for a pet, and here's what happens. I'm going to read. I'll show you the pictures here. When Princess Cora awoke the next morning, she found a box at the foot of her bed. There were holes punched in the top so that something inside could breathe. Princess Cora lifted the lid. Inside was a scaly green animal with a pink bow around its neck. "Goodness!" cried Princess Cora. "An alligator?" The animal smiled. He had teeth hanging down from his top jaw and more teeth poking up from his bottom jaw. "Guess again," he said. "Are you a crocodile?" asked Princess Cora. "I am your crocodile," answered the animal, "and your new pet. I've come to rescue you." And that, just irresistible, right? You cannot resist this
Absolutely
one,
unresistible.
Right? And so they hatch a plan to get Princess Cora the day off. Here's the plan. She's going to run out into the woods and play. He is going to put on a wig and her dress and impersonate her through a full days of activities so that she doesn't have to do them. What could possibly go wrong? This is the perfect book for readers from 5 up to perhaps 95, even if they are jaded and think they've forgotten how to experience joy.
That sounds delightful.
It's a good one.
Now for something totally and completely different. What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. This book is short, but that's about the only thing that it has in common with Princess Cora and the Crocodile. It is a retelling of Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher. In it, a retired soldier responds to an urgent message from an old friend and finds a house infested with peculiar fungi and a pair of siblings that are clearly wasting away. The soldier investigates, aided by a mycologist and a doctor, working to unravel the mystery that is consuming the House of Usher. This book is definitely a horror novel, as infested with creepiness as its fictional subject is infested with mushrooms. It relies more on that creeping dread than on guts and gore, although there are a few scenes that may turn the stomach of a more delicate reader. It is a fantastic retelling that truly understands what made the original so great. It's also a fresh new take on an original work that explores and expands upon the themes of the original story. It's truly delightful in a really shivery sort of way, and if you like it, the sequel, What Feasts at Night, retells the Romanian folktale of the breath-stealing Moroi, and the third book in the series, What Stalks the Deep, is a retelling of H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness.
Yikes.
Yes, very scary.
Okay.
Well, I have finally brought a book that will actually help you satisfy this month's challenge. I think the others will too. Nobody's checking on you. Just say it's a retelling, and Seth told you it was okay. But if you really want to read a retelling, you could do worse than trying this one, The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. It's a retelling and expansion of the legends of King Arthur. On an island in the far outskirts of Arthur's kingdom, a young man named Cullum has grown up with stories of the great king, and he runs away to Arthur's court to volunteer his service. But Cullum arrives at Camelot to find that Arthur is dead, and only a handful of survivors remain after a terrible defeat. The only quest they have left is to find a successor to the throne, and Cullum rouses the remaining knights to embark. But the knights that remain are the bit players. They're like the wingmen of Arthurian legend. And this book gives them a chance to take center stage. There's Didadin, a witty and agile sword fighter. There's Bedivere, who loved Arthur best. Dagonet the Fool, Palamedes, a traveler from Baghdad, and others. And I've read a lot of fantasy books, so I've never been afraid of fat books, and this definitely is one. But I know that's not the same for everyone. So if you are a small book lover, I'd encourage you just to give this one maybe a chance. It feels very accessible because it's just like reading the kind of original Arthurian legends, because everything comes in bite-sized quests, and there's a bunch of character backstories that you can take kind of one at a time. They're little stories to themselves and add up to the whole book. Give it a chance, especially if you were a kid who was ever enchanted by T.H. White's The Once and Future King. It feels like you could put that book down, pick this one up, and just keep rolling through the legends of King Arthur.
That sounds fantastic. Good job, Seth. You finally did it.
If you would like to read any of these or more retellings of myths, legends, or other stories, come to the library in June, participate in the 12 to Try challenge. We'll see you there.